This is speed. This is winning. This is losing. This is smoke and fire. This is blood, sweat, and tears. This is the loudest party on earth. This is family and tradition. This is it. This is NASCAR in Las Vegas. The Pennzoil 400 returns March 14 through 16. Get your tickets now.
Race friends, they're back together again. Live from Daytona Beach, Florida, it's Scratch with a K. And live from Las Vegas, it's Alan Michaels. Right here, right now, on the flagship station, the WCOBM TV network. It's on Pit Road Racing.
Live here in Las Vegas and I guess down at Daytona Beach there at the Nutshak Studios there. Good afternoon, good morning. I guess is it afternoon there yet, Scratch?
It is. It's 12:27, so it is afternoon. And it's a beautiful 70 degrees.
Oh my God. Let me get myself squared away here. The reason I'm not smart, you got 70 degrees and it's 35 with the wind blowing out here this morning. And I mean, everybody's looking for the hot coffee. That's what we're looking for.
Well, I happen to have that as well. I have my hot coffee. I have my 70 degrees in Florida. And you know what? I tell you right now, I would trade it all to be right there with you.
I wish you were here with us too. Before this day's over with, I might have to go over on the other side and see if they got a shot of brandy over there to keep us warmed up.
Hey,
well, good
I
morning,
got that
everybody. Yeah, good morning, everybody. Welcome to On Pit Road Racing. Alan Michaels here in Las Vegas today. We're not back in the studio again. We are at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We are up on the second floor of the Locale IQ Media Center here in suite number 4, right down in the main media room here, where in just a couple of hours, this place will start getting filled up really, really quick. Reporters are here today. The reason why it's the EcoSave 200, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series is here in town for a big show. The wildest party on earth is getting kicked up at America's Racing Showplace. Alan Michaels here, Scratch with the K, down in Daytona Beach at the Nutshak Studios there. Diane Fox is busy. She's over off to my right-hand side. She's catching up on all the news, dates, and emails and things that are going on here today. Have a really great show. We're going to be doing this in segments today, folks, because there's lots going on. Coming up at 10:30 here this morning, Scratch, you've been wanting to see and meet this guy. Mr. Anthony Alfredo is going to be joining us here on the program, man. So we'll get to talk to your Fredo guy. How about that?
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I'm excited about that. You know, it's just because I like to pronounce his last name in some kind of, with the rolling Alfredo. So, I mean, he probably won't like that, so I won't do that. But we won't tell him.
We'll find out if he's. Most of the truck guys are pretty laid back, man. So they like to have a little bit of fun with it. And then Bailey Witt's going to also be joining us. And then coming around about 11 o'clock this morning, Scratch, we've got the Nice Motorsports group coming up for the Camping World Trucks, because today it's all about truck racing here. I don't know about you, man, but it's one of my favorite nights here out there because the weather's going to be cool this evening. The trucks are going to be up underneath the lights tonight. So TV coverage is great, man, when these things are going around. What about it, buddy?
Man, I like trucks anywhere, man, to be honest with you. And, of course, you had asked a question yesterday about liking night racing versus day racing. I think you were talking to Thomas about that. And I myself, I like night racing. When like the Daytona 500 being delayed, one of the things I kept saying at the Turn 3 Tiki Bar, shout out Turn 3 Tiki Bar. I was saying, man, we get a whole Daytona 500 at night. You know what I mean? There wasn't nothing better than that. I think night racing is awesome. So, and you know how I feel about the trucks. The trucks are always a great time. So, yeah, man, truck racing at night in Las Vegas. Let's go, man. I should fly out right now.
You know what? I was just sort of thinking, man, wouldn't it be cool if one year they ran the Daytona 500 at night?
Intentionally, instead of it just happening that way.
Yeah, put it on the schedule. Put it on the schedule that the 500 is going to run at nighttime. Like, start them up, as the sun's going down, but let them. That would be, because I know they've run the what was the midsummer, the 4th of July, and now it's the later in the year.
Yeah,
they run
the 400. Yeah, they run the 400 at night. As soon as they put the lights up, that was the plan. To start running the 400 at night and the 500 during the day. And then, of course, that inaugural year in '98, we had those fires here. So it didn't even run in July. They ran it in October. So the inaugural 400 under the lights, I don't know if you remember that or who remembers that, but the inaugural 400 under the lights, because we had those crazy wildfires down here, got canceled, and we had to wait till October to get our first night race at the Daytona International Speedway. But yeah, this last 500, I mean, I've seen them at night. Listen, man, night racing it's just different. I don't know why. It's different. It's different to watch. It's even for a 500 from the infield, it's I don't know. It's a good time. I love the trucks at night. I swear I'm so jealous I can't be there right now. And
I think too, when they get crashing and bashing, you know what I mean? The sparks start and you can see it great underneath the lights. And of course they're nice and polished up, man. They're looking good.
Sparks had a lot of excitement.
Yeah, I love it. So anyhow, 32 teams have entered, man, qualifying. Just to let everybody know, here's pretty much what it's all about today. The track officially opens up. The haulers and everybody is here. Okay, so everything is all set up and ready to go. Officially this afternoon at 1:30 p.m. Scratch ticket gates, the Neon Garage, and the VIP sections open up for you. The NASCAR Cup Garage opens up at 12:30 to 5:30 today. They've got technical inspections going on from 12:30 to 5:30. Then it's 12:35 to 1:30 today. It's NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series practice. There'll be two groups going out. Each group gets 25 minutes. Then they'll run a 5-minute break and then run the second group right after that. And then after that, coming right after that at 1:40 to 2:30 today, it'll be the qualifying sections. After that, they will impound. It'll be a single car run, 1 lap, and of course they will be impounded as soon as it's done. Then after that, at 4 o'clock, 3:05 to 4 today, it's a NASCAR Xfinity Cup practice. 2 groups for that session. Once again, 25-minute practice sessions with a 5-minute break. And then the second group will go out. The truck drivers have an autograph session down in the Neon Garage today from 3:45 to 4:30 today. Track services meeting. At 4:10 to 5 o'clock today is NASCAR Xfinity qualifying. Single round, 1 lap. They will be impounded after it's done. And then at 5:15, NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, the grid access opens up. They'll have the national anthem, all the pre-race activities, and of course at 6 p.m. Our time, I believe 9 o'clock back your time. EcoSave 200 NASCAR Craftsman Truck races. They'll run 3 stages in this scratch, totaling up to 201 miles. They'll go 30, 60, 134 on the last one. 201 miles to complete the event tonight, man. That's what you got looking at there, buddy.
It's exciting, man. I'm going to make sure, I have a gig tonight, but I'm going to make sure it's on one of the many TVs at Mulligan's so I can watch that instead of listening to people sing karaoke.
There you go. Bring that.
People ask me all the time, especially like if a bad singer's up there, like, when I'm doing karaoke, they're always like, man, how do you get through it? I'm like, man, I'm doing something else. I'm focused on something else.
Like the people that go to church and they got the football and they got the ear pods off. Look, come on, man, kill him. Pastor's up there having a good.
Hey,
whatever.
Church is on Sunday, so is racing and football and stuff like that. I mean, I don't love the Lord just because I stay home and watch a race. I still love the Lord no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, but I look at it this way: if you're gonna go to church, then go to church. Then leave the football or racing off the phone for the hour. Okay, if you're not to the point, if you're not, want to watch the racing or watch football or whatever, then stay home. I mean, come on, give everybody a little peace here. Okay. All right. Hey, you want to talk a little? Hey, yesterday got some comments after we got off the air yesterday. People are loving this F1 thing, Scratch, about Cadillacs coming in, and are they going to come back to NASCAR? I said, I'm push for it. But, I mean, we got a lot of post-show comments about how people just thought, Cadillac going to F1. Couple of quick comments you think about it?
I think it's awesome. As we've talked about several times, I want to see Cadillac come to NASCAR. I mean, it wouldn't be I know that Chevy's running the GM and all that other stuff, but I mean, Pontiac was GM too back in the day when they were in there. So I mean, we got room. You're always yelling and screaming and preaching about let them in. I agree with you 100%. But I think Cadillac has made great strides in racing. So I would don't be scared of them. Let's open the door. Let's go, man. NASCAR. NASCAR's trying to get back to the roots, but go into the future at the same time. Let me tell you something, man. You want to go to the past and come to the future at the same time. We let manufacturers come in and race, no matter who you are. And now you're taking it to the past because that's the way it was in the past. I mean, so you're going to the past, but you're going to the future at the same time. So you want to make a move. I say that's the move because, like I said, there's fans of these brands. There's fans of Cadillac, that's racing, the 24 hours, the events they're racing. There's fans of these cars that'd be like, oh man, so and so's running Cadillac in NASCAR or in the Cup or whatever. You're gonna draw some of these fans that poo-poo on NASCAR, so to speak.
Right. I agree with you. I mean, and hey, it's an American-made product. An American-made product. NASCAR's always been
so they can't use that excuse.
Stock cars, American-made cars. So let them out. Like I said, and if the others want it in too, and I've said this, and I've rode the horse, and I will ride the horse. Let them in. I mean, when it comes down to it, for a Cup car, the only thing that's anything really different in it all is the front, the nose front piece to it, the clip on the front, and the clip to the back. Everything in the middle is all the same, except, your Chevy's running a Chevy motor, Ford's running a Ford motor, Toyota's running a Toyota motor.
Well, listen, and the difference between what we're talking about the future and the past here, is exactly what you just said. Okay, so back in the day, they were all different. You know what I mean? You brought that Ford Thunderbird, you know what I mean, and it was shaped this way, and you brought the Monte Carlo, it was shaped this way, and you had this one, it was shaped, they were all different. I mean, now you let them all in, you're changing a nose and a rear clip, and you got more control over of it being fair, of the Cadillac being just as fast as the Toyota or vice versa or whatever. So, there's more control over that part of it now. So it seems like it makes more sense now than it did in the old school days.
Well, it seems like when we first started off, correct me if I'm wrong, weren't the Fords at Daytona were the big cars up front at the beginning? I mean, they were showing the horsepower. They were showing who's got the Ford muscle on the track. And now it's sort of balanced out. Look what happened. Now Christopher Bell's got his Toyota machine rolling right. I mean, he's working 3 in a row with a possibility of tying Bill Elliott's longtime record of 4 in a row, which was back in 1992. And I hadn't realized
Ford.
Yeah, in a Ford. Yeah, in a Ford. There you go. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting. And I remember you said that too, because I remember going to Martinsville. I remember going to Rockingham, Bristol, Charlotte, and you'd see the Buicks down there. I mean, the Buick front ends were different than what the Chevys were.
I grew up a Bobby Allison fan. Of course, it started with Donnie. I explained this before because he had the same number that my stepdad rode when I was, 6 years old, 5, 6 years old, number 1. So, of course, I'm rooting on number 1. Of course, that drifted right over to Bobby Allison, who I was a huge longtime fan of. But yeah, the Buick, man, I love the, my dream car. If somebody's like, if you could have any car right now, it would be a Grand National. And why would it be a Grand National? Because of Bobby Allison and my love for Buick because Bobby Allison drove it. So, those days, I mean, again, we could let's get back to that. Again, you're going back to the roots, but you're also going forward. I mean, you're NASCAR, you're Cup racing, you're stock car racing. How many cars are out here in this world? You know what I mean? Like how many? You got 3 racing in NASCAR. You know what I mean? There three different manufacturers, and there's so many manufacturers and that are in racing. I mean, the Hondas, the Cadillacs. There's let's go, man.
I was talking. I didn't cut you there. I was talking to Gene Woods. I said, everybody was talking about, well, Steve Phelps made the point of it is going to cost a lot of money for other teams to get invested. This because do they have the V8 motors? And, the Indy motor, and Gene and I were talking to Gene was telling me and schooling me on some things that, the Indy motors are a lot different than what the other NASCAR type of motor is and everything else. So it's do they have the fabrication put together of this to make a V8 stock car style motor and everything else? I said, well, yeah, Volkswagen years had a really good car. I mean, it was the high end of Volkswagen. If you remember the Phantom, and the Phantom had a big block V8 motor up into it. And actually, now technically, what Volkswagen owns Bentley now, and it has for several years. But I mean, there's big block motors in those things. I mean, I
Hey,
think what NASCAR needs to do with this is they need to sort of open this up and let it open up, and let the manufacturers present product to them. Hey,
right.
we've got a V8. This is what our car is going to look like. It is running to the specs of the Chevy. It's running to the specs of the Ford, the Toyota, etc. And I think you're going to bring more money back into this sport because you're going to get more teams. That you're going to get from 36 cars today. We could be at, remember old school Scratch. We could be at 43 cars today.
Yeah, you think? You know what I mean? Right. That's exactly right. More races than not, they've got 40 spots open and they're 4 or 5 cars short. Well, 4 per, most likely
for today.
Yeah, 4 now, even this week. So, I mean, right. Do you want to fill those spots? Do you want these guys, do you want more cars racing? Do you want things like that? Because like I said, I think we talked before the air, they sent 5 cars home from Daytona. They sent 5 cars home from Daytona. So there's race teams out there. You get some of these race teams that don't have that manufacturer support. All of a sudden, they're the Cadillac team, or whatever. Plus, as far as how much these manufacturers, it would cost them to build NASCAR, or do they have this? Listen, man, these are car companies. They build cars. That's what they do. They build cars. They build motors. They try stuff. The concepts. Any of that stuff. So what are we saying? That Volkswagen? I'm just throwing a really random one out there. Are we saying that Volkswagen can't build a V8 NASCAR? Is that what we're saying? That like they're not capable of that engineering and that? That's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Hey, if somebody wants in, NASCAR should just be like, well, you gotta have a 8-cylinder stock car of some sort before we can let you in. If that was the stipulation, then they go build one. And they go, okay, here you go. We're going to sell them on the street, and here's our one for NASCAR. And then they go. Like, who are they? Are they not capable of that?
You just mentioned something there. You just mentioned something there about that selling on the street. Remember the old phrase, winner on Sunday, sells cars on Monday. You know what I mean? There you go.
Yes.
I mean, I think what needs to be done is the governing body needs to start reaching out to other manufacturers and say, listen, we would like to see Cadillac come. We would like to see, I'm just throwing out BMW.
Sure. Okay. Reach out to them and go, hey, are you interested? Because we now have openings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We now have openings. Are you interested to submit something?
Isn't Oldsmobile still running? Don't they make? I believe they still make Oldsmobile cars too. Why can't we go back?
I don't know. I haven't seen an Oldsmobile in a while. Oh, I think they do though.
Or Buick. They're still making Buick automobiles. Yeah. Why can't we go? They've obviously had been in the game before.
For sure.
Well,
Dodge coming back in the trucks. You know what I mean? I think is at least going to reopen a door that this conversation could become a reality.
Right. And now let's look at the financial growth into it, okay?
Sure.
So if we're fielding 40 cars at right now, that is the limit at the present time. You're only bringing between 36 to 37 cars, so you're 3 short of filling the field now, okay? So let's open it up and bring some more manufacturers in here, which now we could most likely we could definitely get 40 cars fielded each week, if not go back to the original 43, which means teams have to pay entry fees, which that means there's more money going in, which means the purses grow a little bit more each race because now we have more into this. I think this is the marketing point of it alone. I mean, I just think that let's get away from the big three and see what we can do about bringing maybe three more into it and see where instead of being the big three, it's, the power six or whatever you wish to call it. Shouldn't even be called anything like that. It should just be the way it was. Chevrolet's got so many cars in the field. Ford's got so many cars. Buick's got so many cars. Toyota's got so many cars. Cadillac's got so many cars. VW brought in, they've got 2 entries in, You can use it as far as I look at it too, you could use the Xfinity as a developmental stages for this. I think there's a lot you could do with this whole thing. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, you can start with the trucks. There's other trucks out there, so you could start there, which is what they're doing, like with Dodge. That's not, let me ask you this: do you think that Dodge? Do you think Dodge is just coming into the trucks? I mean, they are right now, but is that what you think they're doing?
Well,
do you think they're just going to come into the trucks, or that's their foot back in, and then they're going to start running?
Well, okay, you said this. All right, here we go. And in fact, you've got some notes here, and I'm going to go ahead and pull ahead a little bit, and I'll give you a chance to if you'll jump into it. Steve Phelps is still optimistic about adding manufacturers to the NASCAR updates. This is the third round of an update. Another sign point towards Dodge returning to the NASCAR Truck Series has been found, a potential pocket loop. So anyhow, this is all in. For example, they were talking about Dodge dealers and everything else. So the Ram is the one that's going to go for it. Dodge would also then target a return to the Cup Series by 2028, with NASCAR working through several options to incorporate various engine platforms under the BOP style regulation system. The update, this would be done through torque sensors, which have been since added through the 2025 rule book for the test sessions in advance for possible solutions and incorporating various power plants. So if I'm looking at this or reading this right, not only a V8, but possibly maybe a 6-cylinder with, I don't know, what else could you do to a 6-cylinder? Scratch, turbo it. I mean, you got to get power. I mean, everybody's complaining sort of that NASCAR's, reduce the power. I mean, they eventually put the restrictor plates in. I mean, nobody's ever going to beat that pole record that Bill Elliott had. Never.
No, never.
That's done. That's history. Yeah. That'll never happen. Not unless you take the restrictor plates off of them.
And they're not going to do that, especially on these cars that just flip over easy, man. As soon as they throw the green flag, they would all fly.
Yeah. I mean, I just think this is,
Yeah, I see now that it says it's targeting a 2028 return. Yeah, man, I'm in. Let's go. Dodge, come on. I mean, I'm not Mopar. I'm not, that guy by any means. But yeah, come on, Dodge. Let's go. Let's race.
Well, they got a choice. They got a choice now. The Hellcat or what the RT or the Hellcat, right? I think that's the two big sports versions of what they're running, what they're manufacturing. And nobody's ever thought about this. That Chevrolet's quitting to make what is Chevrolet going to do once the Camaro, because the Camaro is going out of production? What's the next thing for Chevrolet?
I don't know, but they're bound to come up with something, aren't they? They always, they're not just going to eliminate, I don't know,
the return of the Monte Carlo.
Something. They're probably going to do something. They're going to do something.
Even
if we talked about it before, and since we're kind of talking about it now, Cadillac replacing Camaro. I don't know that that's the answer. You know what I mean? Because yes, GM, but Chevrolet not being in NASCAR, that's not happening. So they're going to come up.
Something's going to happen. Either the Monte Carlo, the Lumina, some type of thing. I
hope it's not the Lumina. I hope it's not the Lumina.
What about remanufacturing the old Nova, or the old Chevelle?
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to come up with something like that. That type of stuff is popular these days, Alan. It'd be something like that. It'd be something. I'd imagine it'd be something cool, the Nova, or the Monte Carlo should be the. The Camaro and the Monte Carlo. When I think Chevrolet cars, I think of the Monte Carlo and the Camaro first. The Nova's right there. Malibu. but now in that order, kind of. That's the way it's
Yeah.
kind of popping up in my head. That's the way I would think of it. So I don't know. The Monte Carlo might be a good way to roll.
Well, a lot of guys. I mean, you look at the late great Dale Earnhardt. What did he drive? Won a lot of races in that Monte Carlo, then eventually to the Lumina.
Yeah, and the Monte Carlo, I think historically has won a lot of races.
I agree.
The Camaro, I mean, that's just recently. So, they didn't really race Camaros in NASCAR back whenever.
They had
those were more of an ASA car, weren't they? Camaros?
Right. I think so.
Right?
I think
They
so.
ran those in ASA, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Monte Carlo seems like a good idea, but what do we know? We'll find out soon enough.
We're going to find out, and we're going to find out next year because the Rams coming back into the Truck Series, so that's going to be the test market to it, and seeing how many. We'll see what happens with that. How many teams are going to move? Because will NASCAR now, if the Dodge Ram comes in, will they lift their entry fee up from so many? From 32 up? Okay. Will they they're going to add 4 more slots into it because you're going to have to, unless you're going to get people to jump from their big 3 that they've got now. So I just see it's more potential for more drivers to get in, for more money to get into the circuit and everything else. I think it's a positive thing all the way.
I do too. And I also, you got to keep in mind too, some mid-level, probably, I'm guessing this is probably the route that would be taken. Some mid-level truck team or maybe a little bit below average or something like that will be like the Dodge flagship team when they come out. Somebody, somebody's going to jump right over and all of a sudden just become a better team because of it.
I agree, because you're going to get a bunch of factory support. If you look at the Cup, and the Xfinity Series now, they're piggybacking off of each other. Okay, yeah. There are other teams that they're using. Gibbs is using a couple of other teams that's getting Toyota support, but they're using more of a test. For them to test in this thing out, because there really is no more testing the way testing used to be. Right. It's pretty much gone. So other high dollar of the big 4 teams, they're working with other teams and collaborating, and they're getting some factory support along with it. But yeah, you look at this, if Dodge commits to say, let's just say 4 trucks, let's just say 4 off the top of that, 4 teams are going to come in. 4 teams are going to run the Dodge Ram. Dodge is going to step up. They're not going to come into the series without not wanting to invest some money into it and their product. Okay. So that's going to be the plus of it. Like I said, once again, more teams come in, more entry fees, more money, blah, 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 blah. So, that's where it is. I think this is a good thing. I hope this really does work out. I really hope that sort of NASCAR will look at opening their minds a little bit more and saying, you know what, maybe some of these people are right. Let's see. Let's reach out. Let's reach out to VW. Let's reach out to BMW or BMW, Volkswagen, BMW. Let's reach out to Porsche. Let's see if hey, would you guys ever be interested? Could you put a prototype together? Let us look at it. NASCAR could also give incentives for new manufacturers to come in.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you heard this, but the big news here in Las Vegas is that 2 major Los Angeles, California film companies, Sony, and I'm trying to think the other one. Diane, do you remember what the other film company was? It was Sony and another one. Are building enormous production studios and movie studios here, and I believe it was Sony has teamed up with UNLV. So that the kids that are going and the students that are going to UNLV college here can get also on-the-job training working at an actual movie television production studios. I mean, it's the big talk of down. Well, here's the thing. You know what the incentive of? Obviously, we'll give you a break on the taxes.
Yeah.
We'll give you a break on this. We'll give you a break on that. Come build it. They're going to build it.
There was some kind of agreement here in Florida, in Orlando. They had some kind of deal for a little while when they were talking about Orlando was going to be the next Hollywood and all this other stuff. And I think it had something to do with the taxes or something like that. And then they decided not to re-up on that. And that's why all the stuff over here, like the Orlando stuff and stuff like that, kind of migrated up to Georgia. So
Right.
a lot of stuff gets filmed in Georgia now because they took what Florida was doing when I don't know enough about it. I'm vaguely talking, but you reminded me of it because you were talking about they're cutting the break on the taxes,
Right.
to which was their incentive. There was some kind of thing like that here in Florida too, which is how all this kind of East Coast stuff kind of moved up a little bit up to Georgia, because you see a lot of stuff filmed.
Well,
in
yeah, it
Georgia
is now. Georgia, yeah, and the reason why, because the production, the Family Feud show, Steve Harvey
Yep.
moved that complete production to Georgia because it's cheaper. It's cheaper to produce the show out of there, and that's the same thing. L.A. and Hollywood and all that has become so expensive, so crazy out there that they're moving here. And there's some talk, and we'll talk about this through the week. Fontana, of course, they destroyed that big track out there. It is gone. It is demolished. Now they're talking. The plans were, okay, we'll get rid of the big track. Let's put in a half mile or a 3/4 mile short track, something similar to Iowa, and we'll keep racing going here. Well, it's gone. They've kept, according to the press release, and it's in the notes, according to the press release, they've kept a section of the land where this new track is, but nothing has been started yet. NASCAR doesn't have anything, talks going on with them about a possible date. They all think that California is the big hot market. I don't think so. Not for NASCAR. I don't think California is the big hot market. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it.
Montana drew okay there, but I mean, it was so far. It's out of LA, and I mean the drawing point there for that venue and for that race was, let's get as many Hollywood stars and Hollywood TV people and Hollywood movie people,
Right, because that looks good.
Yeah, because they're all here. I mean, if you'd watch the F1 coverage, really when it came down to it, the reporters, except that worked for it, really weren't talking to the drivers on the grid. They were talking to all the Hollywood stars and all the people that came. Although
I've been to a Vegas race, and I've been down there on pit road for a Vegas race where I was just feet away from Kim Kardashian at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, Carrot Top. Hey, Vegas does it up too now, and they got their share of celebrities that live there, but they do it up. I mean, listen, that's the first time in all my this had to be. It was actually the first time I had ever went to a Vegas race that I'm talking about, and I remember going in like the fan zone area, and they had an Elvis impersonator on stage doing his thing, and there were showgirls, and it was like badassery. It was all what Las Vegas should be, right?
Yeah.
But it was the first time I had ever, and I had been to Charlotte, Homestead, I've been to different stuff, and it's the first time ever I had been to a NASCAR race, and I was like, wow, now this is like, they got Elvis, you know what I mean? Like Elvis is up here. It was just cool. Vegas does it outright, man, out there, and they put on a heck of a show, and even their side shows are good. But back to what I was saying, Vegas has their share of celebrities come out there to the races either, and it's not ones they're trying to get there to show off. Carrot Top is a legit loves everything about Las Vegas.
Vince Neil, the Motley Crue is a diehard NASCAR fan. He was a big in fact, several years ago, Diane and I were down when they used to do the drivers meeting in the Neon Garage, and selected people were allowed to go to it. The media was. And of course, Vince is a celebrity, lead vocalist for Motley Crue. Well, Vince was there. He was actually on the other side that we were on, and he stopped, and he was a Jeff Gordon fan. He had 24 on his chest. I mean, it was the Rainbow Warrior colors all the way. And he said, I'm a Jeff Gordon fan. But yeah, Vince comes out. Vince, if he's here in town, he comes out quite a bit. I mean, you'll see him out there. You said something, Carrot Top. Carrot Top's a big NASCAR fan. He's out here quite a bit. But yeah, you're going to see that here because of the shows and everything else. And I guess I got to the point that from where LA was to Fontana, that's just trucking people out there.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, well, you're bussing
here.
You're bussing celebrities out there.
I mean, I'd like to see Fontana get back open, but is it a market that NASCAR really needs to stay with?
I'd rather see him race Rockingham.
There you go. I'd rather see him race Rockingham. I'd rather see him race Rockingham, put two dates or a date on Rockingham, or split it up now because we got Wilkesboro. You gave the All-Star event Will the All-Star event stay in Wilkesboro? Well, we'll find out after this year.
I'll tell you right now, if you're not going to include a Wilkesboro or some things like that, or even like the Bowman Gray, if you're not going to incorporate those tracks back into racing, then I like keeping these all-star races and stuff like that at tracks like that. If you want to move around the all-star race, or you want to move around the Clash, move them around to these tracks. You know what I mean? Get you 4 or 5 of these tracks they used to race on that are still able to race on, and go ahead and just rotate around those. You know what I mean? And keep those in the mix, but keep them in the mix for your all-star race and your Clash. Add another one like that too.
Wouldn't it be cool to see the Clash come to New Smyrna Speedway?
Hell yeah, I wouldn't mind. Like I said, I wouldn't mind them adding another non-points race with some big money that would be like an all-star race that would go to a New Smyrna Speedway, or a track that they don't race on anymore. Something like Hickory, Langley Motor Speedway, one of those things like that they could move it around, and what it does economically for that community. I'm going to tell you something. Have you ever been to Bowman Gray? Have you ever been to Winston-Salem to the Madhouse? I have not.
Okay, so it is tight. It's a football stadium is what it is. Football field's in the middle. Okay, Winston-Salem State plays there. Then the track. The track has actually been there longer than the football field. Okay, but there is no really way to pit. So they just sort of had to line the cars and the haulers outside, and they did it old school way to where, they'd roll the car off the hauler, then they'd lift the lift up, and then they would sort of form, a tent or something around. And that's how they worked on the cars in the old school days, before they had all the garage stuff that they have now. So that's how they had to do it. They had to make the room and everything else for that. But I mean, I'm going to download this tomorrow and play it in tomorrow's show, the press conference that I had with Kyle Larson last week. And Kyle Larson loved it. He said, I hope we go back there. He said, because I asked him, have you ever raced there before? He did one time when he was in back in the day of the E series, the ARCA E series now. And he raced there at one time. And he said he had a blast there then. And he said, we were told, our PR people told us that, man, when you get to Bowman Gray, it's going to be loud. The crowd is tight on top of you. They're crazy there. Sometimes they're fighting in the stands. Sometimes they're fighting in the pits. That's the way it is. Good old-fashioned Saturday night brawling racing, man. But Larson said, I loved it there. I loved it. It was a good time. So, yeah, to see them at a Langley Speedway, to see them at South Boston. You got Hickory Motor Speedway, Concord down there. Some of the places, and look out into Missouri and other things like that, to where, the local tracks, like you said, that are still running, still operational, but, once in a while, bang them in there. I heard one of the drivers say, oh, we ought to take it to London. Take the Clash to London or this or that or whatever. And I was like, no, we don't need to go to London. No. You don't need to do this, And that's like trying to take. You mentioned
before that Japan race with Dale Earnhardt and Dale Jr. Yeah, okay, that was cool. That was cool. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I don't know.
Listen, I just got a cue here. We're going to take a quick break here. Right. We're going to log off, and then we're going to come back on because you know what? We've been rolling in just about 20 minutes, Mr. Anthony Alfredo and Bailey Witt. So let's go ahead and just take a quick break. We're going to run the spots. When we come back to Scratch, let's talk a little NHRA news, what happened last week, and then our first guest should be arriving. Okay, take us to break. Scratch, how about it, my friend?
All right, that is Alan Michaels. He is with the First Lady, Diane Fox, at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, because it is Speed Weeks in Las Vegas. We are on Pit Road Racing. I'm Scratch with a K, and I'm in Daytona Beach, the world center of racing. We'll be right back.
Are you ready for the wildest ride on Fremont Street? The Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience. 450 Fremont Street, suite number 171 on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. Open 7 days a week, noon until midnight. Strap yourself in, pull your safety belts tight, and feel the power and the speed at the Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience, downtown Las Vegas, Fremont Street, 450 Fremont Street, suite number 171, right on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. What are you waiting for? Log on, get your tickets now. It's time to go racing at the Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience, 450 Fremont Street, downtown Las Vegas.
This is speed. This is winning. This is losing. This is smoke and fire. This is blood, sweat, and tears. This is the loudest party on earth. This is family and tradition. This is it. This is NASCAR in Las Vegas. The Pennzoil 400 returns March 14th through 16th. Get your tickets now.
Jerry B here up in Sacramento, Union Gospel Mission, giving out some shoes to the homeless here. A lot of smiling faces. We got one deal. We give you a pair of shoes. You got to give us a smirk and a photo. And this is the mission of the Hot Shoe Hall of Fame, which is a non-profit organization based out of Las Vegas, started by Gene Woods. We're trying to do good things and fill little holes in people's lives the best we can. And today we're up in Sacramento, just doing the best we can. Thanks for supporting us.
This is speed. This is winning. This is losing. This is smoke and fire. This is blood, sweat, and tears. This is the loudest party on earth. This is family and tradition. This is it. This is NASCAR in Las Vegas. The Pennzoil 400 returns March 14th through 16th. Get your tickets now.
Hey, we are back on Pit Road Racing. I'm Scratcher the K. I am in Daytona Beach. And there is my partner in crime right there, Alan Michaels, live from Las Vegas Motor Speedway, where I should be instead of right here, but I'm here anyway. So
There you go.
is what
You're
it
here
is.
with us.
I'm making
Coming
a little
up-
extra money this week.
Coming up about 20 minutes, man. Anthony Alfredo and Bailey Witt will be joining us from Young Motorsports. Okay, so we're going to be talking to those guys. You get your NHRA notes pulled up and ready to go, my
I
friend?
did. I'm ready to go.
Well, the segment brought to you by
surprised too.
Hammer. All right, let's do it. You'll get it going for us. The segment brought to you by our good friends at Hammer and Harry's Resort. You got it 450 Fremont Street. They're open daily from 11 a.m. till 10. HammerandHarrys.com/Fremont Street and Scratch. They've always got good food, fun times, and they're always the home of the really good $5 margarita, my friend. Go ahead. Tell us a little bit
And
about
I
that.
always have $5, so that sounds like a good deal.
All right, go for it.
Defending Top Fuel World Champion Antron Brown kicked off the 2025 NHRA Mission Foods Drag Racing Series season with a victory at the MLA Motor Oil NHRA Gator Nationals. Chad Green in the funny car, Dallas Glenn in Pro Stock, and Gage Herrera in the Pro Stock motorcycle also won the first of 20 races. Brown went 3.673 seconds at 333.99 miles per hour. Yikes. In his 11,000 horsepower Matco Tools dragster to slip past Langdon's 3.684 at 332.67 miles an hour as a four-time world champion, won for the 81st time in his career. Brown, who qualified first, defeated Krista Baldwin, Clay Milliken, and Steven Torrance to reach the final round before picking up his second career win at Gainesville Raceway.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this guy, I mean, wait, 333 miles an hour, man.
I know.
I mean,
I had to read it before I said it, and then read it again while I was saying it. I couldn't believe what I was saying. That's fast.
You know what? I got you one. Chad Green to open up his 2025 funny car season in a standout fashion, going 300 going 3.921. That's 329.118. That's miles an hour. 11,000 horsepower in that Ford Mustang roll past Ron Capps. This will be the one that Green and Shirley remembers. Green went 3.922 at 3.921 back-to-back rounds, claiming his second victory. He defeated Paul Lee, Buddy Hill, and Matt Hagan to reach the final round, posting a series consistent runs to get past the funny car class. Green will now lead the Gainesville Raceway with a points lead. First time in his career, man. How about the pro stocks, my friend?
Yeah, in the pro stocks, Dallas Glenn extracted some bit of revenge on his KB Titan Racing teammate Greg Anderson, defeating the reigning world champion to open the 2025 season with a run of 6.549 at 211.13 in his Rad Torque Systems Chevrolet Camaro. It is Glenn's 14th career win and second at Gainesville. He won back in 2022 and helped make up for Anderson picking up the win at a winner-take-all final round with the championship on the line last November at the NHRA Finals in Panoma.
It appears to be there's nobody stopping Gage Herrera at the Gainesville Raceway as he went back-to-back defending world champion, remained unbeaten in historic facility, picking up his third straight Gator National victory with a run of 6.722. That's 200.23 miles an hour in the Revzilla Mission Ford's Vance Hines Suzuki to defeat rival Matt Smith. It's Herrera's 22nd win since the start of the 2023 campaign. It's an incredible run that has started with his first career run was in Gainesville. He knocked off Gino Scuzzi, Kelly Clance, and Chase Van Sant to reach the final round, leaving him against Smith to pick up the victory. He also matches Eddie Couric as the only riders to win 3 straight pro stock motorcycle races at the Gainesville. Real quickly, we'll look at the points for you, Scratch. I've got the top fuel. You'll take it down to the funny car. Antron Brown up on top. He holds it over 22 points over Sean Langdon. Steve Torrance is back 46. Jasmine Salinas at 49. Doug Coletta sits back in 5th spot, 64 points back. Clay Milliken sits in 6th, 68 back. Tony Stewart, the smoke running pretty good. Top 10 so far off of that first run. He stands back 69 points. Dan Mercer at 70. Trip Tatum at 82. And Brittany Force brings up the tail end, standing in the 10th position. She's 86 points back. You got the funny cars, my friend.
Yeah, the funny cars, you're looking at Chad Green. He is 14 points up on the Ron Caps. Then you have Alexis Jora in 3rd. I'm sure I didn't say that right. Matt Hagan in 4th. Jack Beckman is in 5th. Bob Tasca. Yeah. It's a little small for me. Bob Tasca is in 6th. Bobby Bode.
You got it.
Is in 7th. There you go. Buddy Hall is in 8th. Paul Lee is in 9th. And Daniel Wilkerson rounds out the top 10. He is 76 points back there in 10th. Yeah, it was just a little small for me. I got horrible eyes.
I gotta get them blown up here. Pro stock for you. Dallas Gunn up on the top. Greg Anderson up in 2nd spot. Jake Coughlin Jr. back to the NHRA in the pro stock division. Corey Reed, then Troy Kaufman Jr., Eric Latino. Then it's Derek Reese. And then it's Mason McConney, Derek Kramer, and Matt Halford. And the big surprise out of this was that Erica Enders did not have a good run at Gainesville this year, and she's out of the top 10. I think currently standing 12th in points heading into the next event. And you got the wrap up for the pro stock motorcycles, my friend.
Yeah, Gage Herrera is leading the way. He is in 1st. He's got 123 points with 102 points in 2nd. It is Matt Smith. Angie Smith is in 3rd. Chase Van you did this a minute ago. Chase Van Zant, he's in 4th. Richard Gatson, he is in 5th. This segment brought to you by our friends at Hammered Harry's Resort, 450 Fremont Street. Open daily, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Great food, fun times, and home of the $5 margarita. Yeah.
There you go, my friend. That's it. We've got them all doing it for us today, right out there. And, of course, the NHRA will be here in just a couple of weeks. 4-wide racing will be over at the Strip, just about a quarter mile down, just over on the backside of this property right here. Actually, no, to be honest with you, head out of turns number 3 and 4, and it's right there. So not that far away. Get your tickets at lvms.com or reach on to the NHRA.com. We'll be tending the luncheon on that Thursday there. And then, of course, we're coming out here, I believe, on Friday. Then we're also tentative plans. We're heading down to Costa Mesa for Speedway motorcycle racing, then get back up here to try to get out to cover the finals for the NHRA and 4-wide here. So The boys are coming to town, 11,000. Boys and the gals are coming to town with 11,000 horsepowers right here. You got it? Okay. So there we go. NHRA, look. You ever been to it, Scratch? You ever been to Gainesville?
I have not. I haven't been to Gainesville. I'm about to. As a matter of fact, I have never been to any drag racing.
Right.
Myself. I'm gonna go in another week or so, I think, to Orlando Speed World because they have a drag strip there. You know, it's one of the places that I run with the Tour Destruction,
Right.
and I'm gonna go because a buddy of mine has a friend that races out there, his little sports cars or whatever for the drag racing. So I'm gonna go check that out. But no, I haven't really got to check out too much drag racing. I got a pretty cool old school picture. I'll show it to you sometime. I mean, it's right over here, but I'm not gonna dig it out now. I'll show it to you sometime on the show of my grandfather back when he was in the JCs and they used to run drag racing at the Brooksville airport. And it's a picture of my grandfather handing Don Garlitz a trophy. It's an old black and white picture.
Man,
it's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite things. Oh, it's right here, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, there you go.
In front of me. Hold on. I'll see if I can show
Well,
you.
pull it up there real quickly.
Yeah, let me see.
Wow, that is old school. Oh man, look at that.
That's my grandfather.
Getting a trophy from
giving Don Garlitz.
Oh, he's giving Don Garlitz.
My grandfather's giving Don Garlitz the trophy when the Brooksville JCs used to run drag races at the Brooksville airport. You know, another funny story about that picture is you see how big it is, right?
Right.
So he told me years ago, he was like, man, you know what I regret? I go, what? He goes, I had the whole dragster in that picture and I cut it so I could carry it in my wallet.
Oh man.
He had a whole drag. That was a picture of him giving Don Garlitz a trophy with a whole dragster in it. And yeah, he had cut it to keep it in his wallet. But I mean, I always remember, I just remembered it. I was like, man, if this meant so much to my grandfather that he cut it and kept it in his wallet, you know what I mean? That's a cool picture. And now, you know, obviously, I think it's a killer picture. I think it's great, man. Don Garlitz and I love it myself, but I know that Don Garlitz has that museum over in Ocala.
Hey, Scratch, I got somebody knocking the door. I'm going to take a quick
break.
Yeah,
get the door. Get the door.
Be right back, everybody. Stand by, everybody.
This is speed. This is winning. This is losing. This is smoke and fire. This is blood, sweat, and tears. This is the loudest party on earth. This is family and tradition. This is it. This is NASCAR in Las Vegas. The Pennzoil 400 returns March 14th through 16th. Get your tickets now.
Welcome to my world. Handicapped man down at a charity feed. Great spread this morning. God, it was horrible. But it made what I needed to happen. Then I had these people that stopped and said, hey, you want some shoes? I said, yeah, I was going to need to get some anyway. So might as well. And if it really comes to fruition, help them buy more shoes so that we can help more people. Well, I'm not but you know what I mean. Hell, might as well. There's nothing wrong with helping someone. You know, it makes for good karma or good energy, whatever it takes. Hell, I ought to do a product placement for Coca-Cola too.
Come on! What the Yeah! Oh, man! Woo! That is awesome!
This is speed. This is winning. This is losing. This is smoke and fire. This is blood, sweat, and tears. This is the loudest party on earth. This is family and tradition. This is it. This is NASCAR in Las Vegas. The Pennzoil 400 returns March 14 through 16. Get your tickets now.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Welcome to my world. Handicapped man down at a charity feed. Great spread this morning. God, it was horrible. But it made what I needed to happen. Then I had these people that stopped and said, "Hey, you want some shoes?" I said, "Yeah, I was going to need to get some anyway. So might as well." And if it really comes to fruition, help them buy more shoes so that we can help more people. Well, I'm not we, but you know what I mean. Hell, might as well. There's nothing wrong with helping someone.
This is speed. This is winning. This is losing. This is smoke and fire. This is blood, sweat, and tears. This is the loudest party on earth. This is family and tradition. This is it. This is NASCAR in Las Vegas. The Pennzoil 400 returns March 14 through 16. Get your tickets now.
I can't hear anything. My sisters are still here.
This is speed. This is winning. This is losing. This is smoke and fire. This is blood, sweat, and tears. This is the loudest party on earth. This is family and tradition. This is it. This is NASCAR in Las Vegas. The Pennzoil 400 returns March 14 through 16. Get your tickets now.
Somebody's talking to Anthony Alfredo. Nobody can hear him.
Nobody can hear him.
I bet he's got me on too, just looking at him, just sitting there. And you can't nobody hear me either. Oh, they can.
Are you ready for the wildest ride on Fremont Street? The Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience. 450 Fremont Street, suite number 171 on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. Open 7 days a week, noon until midnight. Strap yourself in, pull your safety belts tight, and feel the power and the speed at the Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience, downtown Las Vegas, Fremont Street, 450 Fremont Street, suite number 171, right on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. What are you waiting for? Log on, get your tickets now. It's time to go racing at the Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience, 450 Fremont Street, downtown Las Vegas.
This is speed. This is winning. This is losing. This is smoke and fire. This is blood, sweat, and tears. This is the loudest party on earth. This is family and tradition. This is it. This is NASCAR in Las Vegas. The Pennzoil 400 returns March 14th through 16th. Get your tickets now.
Race friends, they're back.
Are you ready for the wildest ride on Fremont Street? The Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience. 450 Fremont Street, suite number 171 on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. Open 7 days a week, noon until midnight. Strap yourself in, pull your safety belts tight, and feel the power and the speed at the Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience, downtown Las Vegas, Fremont Street, 450 Fremont Street, suite number 171, right on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. What are you waiting for? Log on, get your tickets now. It's time to go racing at the Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience, 450 Fremont Street, downtown Las Vegas. Are you ready for the wildest ride on Fremont Street? The Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience. 450 Fremont Street, suite number 171 on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. Open 7 days a week, noon until midnight. Strap yourself in, pull your safety belts tight, and feel the power and the speed at the Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience, downtown Las Vegas, Fremont Street, 450 Fremont Street, suite number 171, right on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. What are you waiting for? Log on, get your tickets now. It's time to go racing at the Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience, 450 Fremont Street, downtown Las Vegas.
This is speed. This is winning. This is losing. This is smoke and fire. This is blood, sweat, and tears. This is the loudest party on earth. This is family and tradition. This is it. This is NASCAR in Las Vegas. The Pennzoil 400 returns March 14th through 16th. Get your tickets now.